Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into Jeet Kune Do. You know, Bruce Lee's art.
Right, and we're looking at it through the eyes of Mark Recaido, specifically his experiences up in North York.
Yeah, he wrote this piece, Jeet Kune Do North York, the anti-aging secret. So for you, if you want the, let's say, the quick insight, this is kind of your shortcut.
Exactly. Our mission here is to pull out the essence of JKD as, you know, someone who's actually doing it sees it. Or hunting for those maybe surprising bits.
Okay, let's dive in. Recaido talks about this really interesting thing that happened when he was in his 40s. He was sparring at an MMA gym, right, with guys much younger, and they kept commenting on how fast he was, how agile.
Wow, in his 40s.
Yeah, and he puts it down, like, directly to his Jeet Kune Do training. That sense of, I guess, staying youthful in movement.
That's a great aha moment right there. And I guess JKD isn't just about, you know, peak performance when you're young, but maybe maintaining capability. Smart movement, not just brute force.
Right, efficient movement. That seems key.
Which maybe doesn't fade as much with age.
Exactly. And then tying into that, he makes this point about how hard it is to find, like, real Jeet Kune Do training.
Oh, yeah.
It says it's like finding a Ferrari or even a unicorn.
A unicorn. Okay, so it's not exactly on every street corner then.
Definitely not. Which makes you wonder, you know, why is it so scarce?
It probably suggests that authentic JKD needs maybe a specific lineage or a really deep understanding. Something maybe harder to just replicate widely.
Well, that fits with his own story, because he didn't start in a school. He actually learned, as a kid, from books and magazines.
Really? Reading?
Reading, and then testing things out with his brother. He specifically mentions figuring out Bruce Lee's stop kick and seeing how effective it was, even back then.
Huh. The stop kick. That's classic JKD interception, right? Leading the attack. So he found practical stuff early on, just by himself.
Yeah, which speaks to its, I guess, inherent efficiency.
You could say that. Practicality seems baked in.
But he didn't just, you know, stop there in the basement. Later on, he actually trained with direct students of Bruce Lee.
Ah, okay, so direct lineage. That's important.
Very. And he approaches it analytically, almost like how an MMA fighter breaks down their sport. He studied the roots, too.
What roots specifically?
Wing Chun Kung Fu, Western boxing, and fencing. But he didn't just read about them. He went and learned them from their own schools, their own specialists.
Wow, okay. That's thorough. So he's getting Wing Chun's structure, maybe? Boxing's footwork and punching? Fencing's timing and distance?
Seems like it. Really understanding the ingredients, not just the final JKD mix.
So this Jeet Kune Do North York he runs, it's not quite a traditional school then?
Right. He describes it more as a dedicated community. They focus on building JKD athleticism.
Athleticism. So, like, what do they do?
A whole range. Calisthenics, jump rope, running, shadow boxing, hitting focus mitts, sparring, stretching, even meditation is in there.
Meditation, too. Okay, so it's holistic. It's not just the fighting moves. It's the whole physical and mental package that supports it. Yeah. Like Bruce Lee himself advocated.
Exactly. And he draws that line directly. He connects practicing JKD with better focus, better execution in, well, anything you do, echoing Lee's impact.
Right.
He basically says, if it worked for him, it can definitely work for you too. Which is, you know, a pretty bold promise.
It is, but it speaks to the philosophy, doesn't it? That these principles, adaptability, efficiency, solid foundations, they go beyond just physical conflict.
Yeah, they're transferable skills almost.
Definitely.
So wrapping this up, looking at Recaido's experience, JKD comes across as this unique, kind of rare discipline.
Kept alive by dedicated people, it sounds like.
Yeah, people who really dig into its roots. From his own surprise at feeling young sparring, to learning from books, to building this community, it's quite a journey.
And the core ideas seem to be that adaptability, use what works, and real efficiency grounded in fundamentals.
Practical concepts, really.
Not just for fighting.
So here's something to maybe noodle on. How could you take those JKD principles, adaptability, efficiency, understanding the basics, and apply them? Not just physically, but maybe to other challenges or projects in your own life.
That's a good question to leave folks with.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.